everybody! Okay, we've picked up right from where I was watching the season finale of Season 1. And now we're on the premiere of Season 2. Before we start, I got a few things I gotta say. Is that Season 2 is like a whole different beast. I think so far it's even better than Season 1, which you probably thought was impossible. But, see, a couple things happened is they included the use of both characters from animated television series and from live-action movies, more so than we had last time. So we had only a few exceptions to each rule last time, but this time, you know, they're all fair game. And so that really expands the universe and the setting and the character roster. And it actually got me into watching all these different series and picking up new fan obsessions, either, you know, because I barely remembered so-and-so from when I was younger, and then I'm just now rediscovering how awesome he or she really was, or because it's this whole new villain I'm discovering, and I'm sure everyone else felt that way too. Because we were actually all on the forums at this point lobbing each other's favorite series and movies to each other, and a lot of villains got in this war based on fan suggestions, and are playing a large role because of fan suggestions. And yeah, for me, we're going to expand the non-alcoholic drinking game. There's an expansion where for Season 2, anytime I bring up Mosenrath or Megavolt, and how much I love either one of them, you take a shot of water or soda. Except I do not actually recommend you do this, because you will run out of soda or water really quickly. Like, you already heard all my Mosenrath-ing in the last season. I just can't help it, he's so sexy and awesome! The other thing is, this had a lot more collaborative editing. Like I said in the homemade round of last season, this time homemade battles were spaced out. Unfortunately, I won't be able to pick out who all made what, because I forget. My memory is not that good. But there are a lot of guest contributions. I'm even making some. None of mine have shown up yet, but they will. And most importantly, though, what happened was 73 Windman decided to try his hand at editing. And he did one fight in this, which I'll point out. And then he was like, okay, should I do more fights? And the fight he did in this is absolutely epic. So we were all like, do more fights! Do more fights! And now he and Manwoo have actually split. You know, they do about half and half. Maybe Manwoo does a little more than Windman. But we get to see both of their editing styles, and they get to, you know, really collaborate. And each of them will actually take charge of different villains that the other doesn't want to work with or doesn't have access to footage of. And so that makes the project greater, just because, you know, the two of them are actually working together on the footage. Okay, I've babbled for like 3 minutes. We should get into this thing, so you can see how awesome it is. Okay, so, just as a recap. Ruber's king of the world. You're caught up. Okay, let's go. Duel of Fates! I've even seen this recently. Why am I still squealing? And here's the Snow Queen. Remember how I said she would finally come back? She did. Okay, I love Duel of the Fates, but who doesn't? It's like the best thing about that first Star Wars movie. First, fourth, whatever. So yeah, Snow Queen is like, this time it's personal with Shan Yu, so King One-Eye, the minor villain, but ultimately the bigger bad from The Thief and the Cobbler, is called in. You know, it's interesting because, you know, a lot of people didn't expect King One-Eye to get his own battle outside of being allied with Zigzag. But, you know, truth is, if he was really that scary in canon, he deserves this. So then Shan Yu kills him. Here's Castle Ruber. And Maleficent's like, what have you done? Ruber's like, I'm king of the world now. Ha ha. So Maleficent shows him that he's in danger. And she calls upon some more... I didn't actually consider the witches of Morva villains. I thought of them as more neutral. Like true neutral, actually. I was trying to think if I'd have them lawful or chaotic. But they're actually, given an upgrade in awesome. Because they are the ones who are actually able to detach Excalibur from Ruber's hand. And it's the first warning at Ruber, you're gonna start to try to get assassinated. A lot. Wizard of Wonderland. The Care Bears villain that I actually didn't like. And here's Malice! We don't exactly know how he got unpetrified, we don't care. So these two, of course, form an alliance. And Pete's like, I rule England now. Not for long. Because Malice is on the case. And Malice is a pretty powerful sorcerer. And, the Wizard of Wonderland can do that devil face thing. Pete humiliated again. So here's that Little Mermaid Villains Alliance I was talking about. Do we actually get to see the whole thing? Yeah. Ursula? Actually, no, maybe we just get her so far. And the Alliance... Yeah, the Alliance happens later. Because this battle is foreshadowing. Here's Merman from the 2002 reboot of He-Man. Which, Man Woo is a huge He-Man fan. And has got us all attached to the villains. Like, I used to think Skeletor was no big deal, and now I actually really respect him a ton. So that's going to lead to something later. The Skeleton King is gathering formless minions. Yeah, later you're going to want some ones with forms. And here we have the Hunts clan. Huntsman and Rose. I like to refer to her as Rose rather than Huntsgirl. And Rose is another one of my favorite Disney villains. Or anti-villains, or anti-heroes, depending on what point you're at in American Dragon. I kind of identify with her a little bit. And I love her depth. And the whole story arc about, I'm trying to be a normal high school girl, but I'm also a supervillain.